Wow, we have breaking Jets news coming out like 10-15 minutes ago. I just saw the notification. And quick side note, I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to be able to post this video, just running around like crazy this morning. But in any case, the Jets have went out and released return man Xavier Gipson. Now, look, I don't want to kick the guy while he's down. I don't want to, pile on here, but you just take a look at that Steelers game, and like, unfortunately, to have 2 fumbles in the first week at a thin position as well, it's just, and by the way, me and Tyson were doing the stream last night, and he actually pointed out there was one play specifically where he called a fair catch and there was like no one around him. It's just tough, right? You cannot have, special teams errors. Like, you just simply cannot have them. Now, I'm not saying, okay, you have a fumble, you're automatically released, but you know what, Aaron Glenn is just like, hey, this is not the same old Jets, right, that we've seen the past couple of seasons where, Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, Rodgers, Hackett, they have their favorites, and it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter how many drops. It doesn't matter how many mistakes, head-scratching moments that these guys have. They're going to be out there. Why? Just because it's their guy. No. Xavier Gipson, 53-man roster. He, obviously beat out Jamaal Pritchett to be that starting return man. And, we see what happens against the Steelers, and this is what happens. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to kind of wrap your head around it, right? The Jets are making a move to their roster, to their official 53-man roster after one game. But you know what? It's a brand new era. And with every week that passes, we're going to gain more and more data, more information on how Darren Mushi and Aaron Glenn want to run their team. Now, what exactly is going to happen here, right? Because one thing I will say that I don't want to see is this to be a trend moving forward, where maybe there is someone that's coming off a really rough game, or a player cost the Jets a victory or something, and the Jets are just like released, and now we don't have a clue on what to do. But it seems like in this situation, like I don't want this Jets regime to be like reactionary like that, where it's just like essentially fire the guy, but you don't have a backup plan. You don't have an option to pivot to. And now you're just like, okay, well, now we're really screwed. But I don't think that's the case here. Obviously, I think common sense would tell you, okay, maybe Jamaal Pritchett being elevated would be an interesting option at that position. Now, the Jets also brought in Keilan Robinson, former Jacksonville Jaguar. He was never really like the most productive guy, but this is someone who I feel like can maybe step into that role. Also, we do have to take in mind, or keep in mind rather, that Nwangu was hurt. He got a hamstring injury in that Steelers game, so it really felt like he was the primary returner. So I don't know. I think the Jets will be fine here. I really think the Jets will be fine. I think a lot of fans, on one hand, it's unfortunate, right? Because again, you never want to kick a guy while he's down, or pile on and just kind of point the finger at one person, because the Jets lost for a couple reasons, not just the Gibson fumble, but fans took issue with the fact that he was hurt, he missed a lot of time, and somehow he gets the job coming into the regular season. And I gotta say, I think it opens up the door to ask the same exact question for Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard was hurt. Allen Lazard missed weeks of training camp. Allen Lazard is not a wide receiver 1, 2, 3. Maybe he's a wide receiver 4. Now, he did restructure his contract, but he was a healthy scratch against the Steelers. So it kind of makes you question, hey, what exactly is the plan there? Is he going to be traded? Is he going to be released? I'm not sure. And then if that's the case, we're really looking at this wide receiver room saying this is thin. Now, credit Tanner Engstrand, credit the running game, and credit Justin Fields to go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Mike Tomlin, Terrell Austin, this veteran team led by veteran coaches. I mean, think about all the good players that the Steelers defense has. Cam Hayward, Jalen Ram. I mean, I could spend 10 minutes going down this Steelers lineup, right? TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Keanu Benton, Deshaun Elliott, absolutely insane. Joey Porter, one of my favorite players in football. Justin Fields went out and had a great game with nothing at wide receiver outside of Garrett Wilson. It was just non-existent. Josh Reynolds drop, in the final drive of the game. It's like, come on. Like, we need to get, in my opinion, we need to get Justin at least one more option. And coming into the season, okay, you want to roll with Lazard? Fine. You want to roll with Gibson? Fine. But now that Gibson's gone and Lazard potentially is like a healthy scratch, and Glenn did say it was because he missed a lot of time in training camp. But you know what? Gibson missed time. Tyrod Taylor missed time in training camp. Like, I'm not sure. When I just look at wide receiver, it's so thin, and I was just shocked to see that Lazard, despite him being healthy, was a scratch. So, yeah, I just feel like we could use one more body there. I think what's ironic, I think if we had one more wide receiver, it wouldn't have changed the game plan at all, and I don't really think it would have changed the, like, 95-98% of that game. But what I do think, or where I do think it would have came in handy, the last drive, where TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith and Tomlin, Terrell Austin, everyone knows that the Jets are going to be throwing the ball to get in a field goal range. Everyone knows that. Problem is, no one can get open outside of Garrett Wilson. Of course, hopefully Mason Taylor continues to grow and develop. And Arian Smith wasn't really featured that much in that week 1 game. But it's too big of an ask to say, okay, Arian Smith, we need 70 catches from you this season, 750 receiving yards. I think it's just too big of a ask. Again, just too much responsibility to put on a mid-round rookie's plate. So I believe if we had one more player just strike a little bit of more fear in the defense in those obvious passing situations where Justin is going to be dropping back. I mean, it's really just like the plan of attack is drop a lot of rushers, focus on G5, and shut him down, and then force Tyler Johnson, force Josh Reynolds to go out and make a play. And we actually saw in that drive again, Josh Reynolds get a really good thrown ball to him, and it goes through his hands. So, and I mean, even Garrett, had the ball jarred loose from Jalen Ramsey on a great hit. But it's just like, man, if we had one more guy, like, it just felt like, maybe we could just be a little bit more imposing, like in the passing attack. So yeah, let's go get Justin, at least someone else. Now, I'm not saying spend a 2nd-round pick or anything, but let's scour practice squads. Let's see who's out there. I know the Jets have had months to figure this out, but yeah, after 1 week, we're already seeing major changes here. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Again, I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to be able to post this video, but I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, and as always, go Jets.